Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. I'm your host, Kyle David. Today, it's just me and you. I know I've had a lot of guests on here recently, and so I just want to pop on and just talk me and you. And today I want to talk about habits. As we've entered the new year, there's a lot of talk about goals and resolutions and whatnot. And I want to talk about habits because it's something that's been on my mind. And I think it's something that's really helpful. Here's the thing. You don't achieve any of the resolutions you set out to achieve, any of the goals you set for yourself this year in 2023, prior, or in the future. You don't achieve any of it without habits. You don't achieve goals without habits, right? So what is a habit? One definition I like the best is a habit is a behavior learned through repetition. A behavior learned through repetition. So a habit is something that you become. You learn this behavior. It's a behavior you learn through repetition, which then becomes a habit. Why are habits important? Well, the only way to accomplish a goal or succeed at a resolution or whatnot is to master habits, because the things you do every day are what determine what you achieve, right? I like this quote here. Your life is a result of your daily habits. So whether you're healthy, you're unhealthy, you're rich, you're broke, wherever you're at, you're depressed, you're sad, you're happy, those things are results mainly of your daily habits, right? Exercise daily leads to health. Eating well daily leads to health. Eating poorly daily leads to unhealth. Not exercising daily leads to poor physical condition, et cetera, right? Becoming rich starts with doing the things that lead to building wealth or riches daily. It's not just like, how else would you get there if you daily weren't doing the things that lead there, right? I think exercise is always the best kind of parallel, right? If you wanted to gain a lot of weight, let's say, and become muscular, you would have to lift weights consistently. You would have to have a habit of lifting weights. If you wanted to lose a lot of weight, you would have to daily have calorie restriction and exercise of some form to lose weight. So everything is a byproduct of your habits. If you have good relationships, it's because every day you practice being intentional, and you create a habit of that. Here's another quote. This is by Jim Rohn. Motivation gets you started. Habits keep you right? The only way to get where you want to go is habits. So this year, right, I've implemented some newer habits. Every day I take a cold shower. I know cold plunges and showers are all the hype right now, but there's a reason, right? Every day, if you condition yourself to take a cold shower and do something difficult, it makes it easier to do other difficult things. You create a habit, a behavior, a learned behavior, right? I have made it a habit to not work out later in the day, but now I'm working out in the morning. It's a habit that I'm creating. You want to build wealth, right? You want to build a company. It's not going to build itself. You have to do it. And how are you going to do it? You do it through your habits. Do you show up every day and work hard? Do you adhere to a calendar? Do you have a habit of adhering to a calendar? I've been eating a lot of meat. If you know me, I've had some stomach issues, and the best thing for me to eat on my diet is meat. So I have a habit of saying no to the chips and the chocolate that I want to eat, and I just eat meat. But it's become a habit, a learned behavior, and so I'm seeing the results in my body and in my health of the habits that I have, not the goals that I have. My good friend Chris Cirillo has talked about this at length. He was an Army Ranger. He's a top performing individual in work, in life. The guy's just a beast. Shout out to you, Chris. But Chris posted about this not too long ago on LinkedIn, and it's sat with me still, as he was talking about the only way to achieve your goals is through daily small habits, right? The only way to build a business is to show up every day and have the right habits that get you where you want to go. Health, we've already been through that. Here, I have another one. I can't remember who this quote was from. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. You only get to where you want to go by taking one step at a time. Habits. You have to set out to achieve something, right? Health, relationships, wealth, whatever it is. You need to have a direction, but the only way to get there is one foot in front of the other, aka your habits. The things you're going to do repeatedly that become learned behaviors that you then do over and over that take you somewhere. Because you're headed somewhere, right? Here's the reality. You're headed somewhere. You're headed for wealth. You're headed for poorness. You're headed to be broke. You're headed for health. You're headed for unhealth. You're headed somewhere. We're never stagnant in life. You're headed somewhere. And the direction you're headed is determined by the daily habits that you have. The daily habits that you've put in place. You put in place. No one else can put your habits in place for you. No one else is responsible for your daily habits. Your direction in life is determined by your habits that you've chosen. Right? The learned behaviors we have, whether it's to have a positive mindset or to have a negative mindset, to wake up and be grateful, to wake up and feel like a victim. Those are habits as well, right? They're not all external habits. Not all habits are external. Your mindset, the way you think, is a habit as well. You've created a learned behavior through repetition. The way you think, learned behavior through repetition. The things you do every day, learned behavior through repetition. You're responsible for your habits. I'm responsible for my habits. Our lives, I wake up, I look around, here I am in my office, I look at my life, I audit my thoughts. It's all a byproduct of my choices and my habits. No one else. Your life is your fault, good or bad. Say it again. Your life is your fault, good or bad. Wherever you're at in life, it's your fault. If you're succeeding, if you're wealthy, if you're healthy, it's your fault in a good way. If you're broke and you're depressed and you don't like your life, also your fault. I'm not saying there weren't any other factors that contributed to it, but you're the number one person who's accountable for you. Unpopular to hear a lot in our current culture, but true. The number one person responsible for your habits, your health, your wealth, your happiness, you. And almost all of it is determined by your daily habits. Do you wake up early? Do you think positive? Do you do things that move you in a good direction? Do you eat healthy? Do you exercise? Are you good with your money? How do you treat the people that you're in relationships with? How do you show up to your job or your business? Habits. All a choice. All a choice. And don't hear me saying I have it all figured out. I don't. I slept in today. Was it ideal? Maybe, maybe not. So I made the choice, right? I'm not perfect. There's days where I don't adhere to the right habits that I should. All of us do. So perfection here is not the goal, right? But progress is to create good habits. And I would say, practically speaking, the only way to create good habits is to write down what you want or where you want to go, your goals, your resolutions, where you want to head, what you want to achieve. And then you have to map out the habits that will get you there. Right now, I've had stomach infection the past few years, a lot of health problems. I'm trying to gain back some muscle mass and some weight. So I had to map out, what do I want to weigh? What do I want to look like? How many grams of protein do I need? How many calories do I need? Here, I have the sheet right here. This little sticky note, if you're looking. I know how many carbs I need. I know how much protein I need. I know how much fat I need. I know the things I'm going to have to eat, the workouts I'm going to have to do to achieve what I want to achieve. I know the habits. Now I just have to show up and execute on the habits that are going to take me to the places I want to go. And you could do the same if you're not already, right? I want X number of dollars in my bank account. I want some land. I want a plane. I want a business. Not in a materialistic way, but these are things that I can head in the direction of. And so I have to implement the habits. I have to implement habits when I receive money. I have to implement habits when I don't spend money on what I spend. How I show up to my job, to the business I work at, to put me in a position for those things. Habits. They're all a choice, right? The learned behaviors you have through repetition, whether it's your mindset, again, your health, your relationships, your money, whatever, are byproducts of your choices in your habits. So, if you heard nothing else here today, your life is determined by your daily habits. The way to implement great daily habits is to literally write down where you want to go, what you want to achieve, and then what are the habits that will get you there. And you don't have to know all of them. This is something I've learned the past few years, is that you don't have to know the answers. You don't have to figure out what habits get me to $1 million or $10 million. What habits help me become healthy and look like the person I want to look like. Go find the people that have done it and just replicate the habits they have. Find people that are worth 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million. Listen to them, YouTube, podcasts, mentorships, whatever you can, and ask them what the habits are. Find out what the habits are. You want to get buff and jacked. You want to lose weight and look great. Go find people that are where you want to be and just find out what are the habits. What did they do? What did they eat? When did they wake up? Figure out the habits, replicate them, execute. That's the formula. What are the habits? How do I replicate the habits of the people that have the things that I want, and then execute? Habits, execute. Then they become a behavior that you learn through repetition, and your habits form your life, and you can create the life that you're looking to live, whatever that looks like. So, I'm no expert. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm on the journey with you and want to share all the things that I'm learning, that I'm implementing in my life that have helped me achieve certain things that I want to achieve, that I've seen others do to achieve what they want to achieve, and tried and true things that I know work and you can use to get where you want to be. So I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope something here was helpful. If you got questions or if I can be helpful in any way, hit me up on social media, Kyle.David, couple underscores, 3 underscores on Instagram, whatever. You'll find me. If you know me, come find me, ask me questions. If not, thanks for listening. We'll see you again. It's been another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. Blessed by all of you who listen. Until we meet again, adios.